Hey YouTube, it's Dr. Dan Wendler, and today I want to tell you a true story from my life about a single sentence that changed the course of my life and impacted over 1 million people. Just a single sentence. And I'll tell you what the sentence is in just a second. But before I do that, I got to set the stage for the story a little bit. This happened about 15 years ago in my first job out of college. I was an intern at this scrappy little startup company, and we were trying our best, but like a lot of startup companies, it ultimately crashed and burned, and the company was going to be disbanded. So we had one final lunch together as a whole team before we all went our separate ways. And during that lunch, something kind of surprising happened. One of the senior leaders of the team, who I'd never really spoken to before, took me aside and said, "Hey, Daniel, you're a young guy. You're at the beginning of your career. What do you want to do next? What's your big dream after this?" And I told him that my big dream was to help other people with their social skills because I was autistic. I had taught myself social skills. I thought that I could help other people too, but I had no idea how to go about it. I thought about opening up a social skills coaching business, but how would that even work? Would I just like rent an office somewhere? I thought about trying to write a book, but how could I get a publisher who would read it? And so I just felt very stuck with this idea. And I told him all this, and he listened for a second, and then he said the sentence. He said, "Daniel, have you thought about starting a website?" Very simple idea, right? But I literally had not thought of that. This was the first time that the idea crossed my mind. But the more that I thought about it, the more that I realized, hey, this could be it. This could be what I was waiting for. And that led me to build the website. It led me to ultimately launch improveyoursocialskills.com. And improveyoursocialskills.com, even though it started with 0 readers, ultimately grew to over 1 million people coming to the site and benefiting from the social skills content that I'd put out into the world. What's more than that, the impact that I saw from Improve Your Social Skills was one of the big things that led me to become a psychologist and led me to write the books that I've written and even led me to record this YouTube video right now. Um, it's probably fair to say that that single sentence had a tremendous impact on the course of my career, even though that guy probably doesn't even remember giving that advice. He might not even remember me at all. Again, it was 15 years ago. The point that I want to make with this is not to brag about my million readers of my website or anything like that. It's to make a very simple point that you probably don't know the true impact of the good things that you do in the world. And chances are your true impact, the ways that you make the world better, are so much more than what you actually think. And the reason is mathematics. See, oftentimes we think when we're doing something good for the world, we're adding one good thing to the world, right? But it's not addition, it's multiplication. Because when you do a good thing for somebody else, it equips them to do a good thing for even more people. You give some gangly intern some advice, and then they turn around and make a website that helps a lot of readers. You offer tutoring to another student, and they are able to pass a class and have more free time to help their grandma around the house. Who knows? But the things that you do have a multiplier effect. And then when you help somebody and they help more people, and then those people help more people, then it's an exponential effect. It just keeps growing. And sure, this might not happen every time. Sometimes you give advice and it goes in one ear, out the other. Sometimes you help somebody and they forget all about it the next day. But sometimes that's not what happens. Sometimes you plant a seed that reaps a tremendous harvest. And the thing is that you'll never know. Again, that guy, he probably has no idea that the advice that he gave me made such an impact. And you probably have no idea of the impacts that you've made, of the advice that you gave that really helped somebody, of the encouragement that gave someone courage when they needed it the most, of your friendship that really helped somebody through a tough time. Those things are real impacts, even if they're invisible to you. And so my big encouragement for you is when you feel discouraged about the mark that you're leaving on the world, when you feel like you haven't done enough, when you sort of ask the question of, why does anything that I do matter? I want to remind you that the impact that you make is very much like that image of the iceberg, where what is visible is only a tiny fraction of what's there. Or maybe a better metaphor is like a field of crops. You look out, maybe all you see is dirt, just a couple of green shoots perhaps, but underneath there is so much growing as a result of the seeds that were planted and such a tremendous harvest that is coming in the future. And I think that that's true of your life, whether or not you ever get to see that harvest. The fact is, you created that, and that's something to take pride in. So, my encouragement to you today is twofold. Number one, take a moment to give yourself a pat on the back and realize the multiplier effect of meaning that you have had on the world. And number two, go and go and do some other good things, right? Go and find some other way to do a little small good thing in the world, even if it's as small as just making somebody smile or making somebody else's day a little easier, or teaching somebody else a thing that you might know. Even if you only impact one person, remember, it's mathematics. That one person might impact 10, those 10 might impact 100, and you might, through your small, tiny action, impact the world. So that's what I got for you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe if you want. And I'll see y'all next time.